If you're used to sewing hair on your textile dolls, short hairstyles can be tricky because you don't always have enough length there to hide the wefts and the stitches. It can look a bit bulky and a bit messy, especially on a small size doll. If this sounds familiar, you might want to try needle felting. Today I'm going to show you how I needle felt short hair on a 25cm cloth art doll. I'm Jo, by the way. I'm a full-time doll artist based on a narrowboat in Wales. I'm making a goth boy doll in my usual creepy cute style with button eyes and bead jointed limbs. He's made from quilting cotton and stuffed with kapok. Kapok is a natural plant-based fibre. The head needs to be stuffed really firmly for needle felting. It shouldn't be squishy or soft. You need the stuffing to be dense enough for the hair to knit together with it. I use the Clover pen style needle felting tool for doll hair. It takes up to 3 needles and holds them parallel close together, so it's great for detailed work. I keep a second tool with 2 needles in it for felting finer details and straight lines. The material I'm using for the hair is a super chunky weight acrylic yarn. I'm using up some scraps from another doll for the shortest part at the back of the head. I've unravelled the yarn to separate the fibres, and I'm just stabbing it with the felting tool until it holds in place. If any areas look a bit thin or if there's any fabric showing through, I'll add a bit more of the yarn. The longer you keep working, the smoother and the less fluffy it'll look. The needles I use are the Heidi Feathers triangular 38 gauge. I'll put a link to those and the Clover tool in the description. These are extremely sharp, so make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. I take extra care around the stitches where I've anchored the button eyes on the back of the head. Felting needles are quite brittle and hitting a hard stitch or a seam can snap them. Just keep the needles at a right angle to the surface. You shouldn't need to push too hard. If you find you're having to force a needle, you might need to try a different gauge. It's worth experimenting just to see what works best for you. If you're learning anything new from this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and help it get seen by more people. I want to use a contrasting colour to create some longer, spikier hair on the top. So I've chosen this blue, super chunky acrylic yarn. Both of the yarns I'm using are from Signet. This one is from their metallics range. It has a lovely sheen to it. You can unravel the yarn and separate the strands before felting it if you want it to be a bit less bushy, but I want to keep the fullness, so I'm felting it in just as it is. I'll unravel it and comb it out later. I fold the lengths of the yarn in 2, then lay the looped end against the head in the direction I want the hair to fall. I felt a centimetre or 2, just enough to hold it firmly in place. I keep layering more yarn on top in overlapping rows. The closer together the rows are, the thicker the end result will be. You could make it a lot shorter than this if you want to. I try to position the hair around the edges so no gaps are visible. The nice thing about using super chunky yarn is that when you unravel it, it's already sort of like a curly hair texture. You can change the texture with heat if you want to. Blasting it with a hairdryer will flatten it a bit and leave it slightly wavy, or you can use hair straighteners for a smooth, shiny finish. I quite like the curl for this doll, so I'm just going to brush out the loose fibres and leave it as it is. Some of the strands are a bit longer than the others, so I'm giving it a trim with my little thread scissors. I chop into it bit by bit until I get the shape I want. I don't tend to use any finishing product on my doll's hair. Some doll artists use hair products made for human hair on their dolls. This is something I've never tried, so I don't know how well they last. I worry about products being sticky and attracting dust over time. If you have tried using hairstyling products on your dolls, how did it go? Let me know in the comments if you've had any success or any disasters with it. If you'd like to see how I needle felt long hairstyles, watch this video next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!